Today, we're diving into a wild story about what happens when our entire financial system just breaks, when trust completely vanishes. And we're going to look at the two totally opposite revolutions that grew out of that chaos. It's a tale of a ghost and a king.
So, I want you to picture it. The year is 2008. The entire global economy is in an absolute freefall. Every headline is just screaming about bailouts, collapse, and panic.
I mean, these institutions that we all thought were invincible, right? The absolute pillars of finance, they're just crumbling. Seemingly overnight, the whole system is broken.
And when that happens, trust just evaporates. Not just in the banks, but in the very idea that the people in charge have your back. And that void, that's where our story really begins. Okay, so let's really get into this. See, the 2008 crash wasn't just about money. It was a crisis of faith. And in that vacuum, two completely different answers to the question, okay, who do we trust now, started to take shape. On one side, you have the king of Wall Street, Bernie Madoff. His bet? Double down on the old world of secrets, of personal charm, of being in the in crowd. And on the other side, you have this mysterious ghost in the machine, Satoshi Nakamoto, who came up with a new world built on open code and pure, verifiable math.
Let's start with Madoff's playbook. His solution to the crisis of trust was kind of brilliant in a terrifying way. He decided to create an illusion of trust that was so powerful, so exclusive, that you'd feel crazy to even ask a single question.
And this right here, this quote just nails it. Madoff's real product wasn't financial returns. It was the feeling of being special, the feeling of being an insider in a secret club, while the rest of the world was burning down outside.
So how'd he do it? It was a classic Ponzi scheme. It's basically a financial house of cards that only stays standing as long as you have a constant stream of new money coming in the door to pay off the people who came before.
And this breaks it down perfectly. You take money from Peter to pay Paul. Simple, right? But the real twisted genius was in step 3. By sometimes turning people away, by saying, no, sorry, we're full, Madoff made people beg to give him their life savings. It was masterful manipulation.
And the final price tag for this club? A $65 billion lie. The single largest financial fraud in U.S. history, all built on the charm of one man.
Now, at the very same time that Madoff was perfecting his fortress of secrets, a totally opposite idea was quietly being posted online. An idea that was designed from the ground up to make someone like Bernie Madoff completely impossible.
This is the big idea behind Bitcoin, the blockchain. And the best way to think about it is like a public notebook. Instead of Madoff keeping all the secrets in his own private ledger, imagine if everyone on the network had a copy of the same notebook. It's a system designed to replace trust in a person with trust in a transparent process.
And here's how it works. When you make a transaction, it's basically announced to the whole network. The network of computers then confirms that everything is legit. And once it's verified, it's locked into the chain as a new block, permanently. And the key thing? It's visible to everyone. No secret back rooms, no private ledgers. And this is absolutely crucial. Remember how in 2008 central banks were basically printing trillions of dollars out of thin air? Well, this system has a hard, unbreakable rule. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Ever. It's a system built on pure mathematical scarcity, not the whims of a few powerful people.
So, here we are. You have two systems. One built on secrets, the other on radical transparency. What happens when they both collide head-on with the cold, hard reality of the 2008 financial crash?
This timeline is it's incredible. Right at the peak of the crisis, the river of new money flowing to Madoff just dries up, and his whole scheme implodes. He's arrested. Just weeks before that, the blueprint for Bitcoin appears online. And then, just weeks after he's arrested, the first block of Bitcoin is created. As the king falls, the ghost is born.
For the king, the end was swift and absolute. A 150-year sentence. The final, brutal verdict on a system built on false trust. And for the ghost system, the beginning couldn't have been more humble. The first ever real-world transaction happened in 2010. 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. At the time, it was just a funny little experiment.
But that, of course, brings us to let's call it the $600 million question. What happens to the value of a system built not on promises, but on math and code?
Yeah, somewhere around $600 million. Now, look, this isn't investment advice, obviously. The point is to just show the unbelievable, explosive path of an idea that offered a completely different way forward from the system that failed us all in 2008.
So, when you put it all together, what do these two stories, the ghost and the king, born from the exact same moment of crisis, what do they really teach us about trust?
It really just boils down to this. The king system was secret, it was controlled by one person, and it demanded you put your blind faith in a single man. The ghost's system is the total opposite. It's public, it's decentralized, and it asks you to trust in math that anyone can verify. It's a radical shift in what we trust, from a person to a process, from a promise to a proof.
And that leaves us with the big question for all of us. As we move forward, the choice isn't just about people versus code. It's about where we place our faith. Do we trust in the charisma of powerful individuals working behind closed doors? Or do we trust in open, transparent systems that we can all see and verify for ourselves? That's the real legacy of the ghost and the king.